Hey guys, I don't have a lot of time. I gotta go to work in an hour, I think, and I haven't taken a shower or anything. But I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube about modding green laser pens and making them burn shit, and there's one called a pot mod, which basically, I don't really know the technicalities of it. I think it just increases the amount of voltage it's allowed to go to the diode, which is what makes your laser, what projects the light. I bought a Radio Shack green laser pen because I wanted to try this out and had some money to waste. It seemed pretty cool, and I couldn't find any information on how to get it open or how to mod it or anything, but eventually I figured it out, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because some of you might have bought these and thought you wasted your money because you couldn't figure out how to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you some of the basics of your green laser pointer from Radio Shack and what you can do to it, because it took me a while to figure out. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, so this is the Radio Shack green laser pointer. It's got a really nice build to it. The weight is wonderful, it feels really high quality, and it works great. As you can see, you might be able to see the beam on the camera. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see it slightly. Yeah. When you are in a dark room, especially when this thing is pop modded, you can see the laser so well, it's almost ridiculous. But anyway, I had a lot of trouble getting the cap off, which first I was going to do a resistor mod, which I might get to that later. I didn't have enough time to mess with that today because, as I said, I have to go to work. But basically what you need to do to get the cap off, if you're going to do a resistor mod, is this is what I used. I could not find anything better, and I didn't want to go out and buy some tools. It worked fine. It's basically just, I don't know, some hedge trimmers or something with a sharp blade right here. And what you want to do is carefully, you will see a partition here where the cap, which is this part, connects to the body. And what you want to do is you want to take your blade. I guess you might be able to use a box cutter, I'm not sure, but you want to take your blade and you want to squeeze right where cap stops, and just basically squeeze and turn until eventually, it'll probably take about 10 minutes of this, and you don't want to do it too much. Like, you don't want to squeeze too tightly on the hedge trimmers or whatever the fuck you're using, because you will damage the laser. It'll break through really fast and you'll just snap it. Actually, that's not completely true, but you can damage the body. But I got a piece of tape around this now to keep it on. Let me show you the insides. They're a little bit different than most green laser pointers. And this is what really threw me off whenever I got it open. It took me a long ass time to do this. Okay, so I got the tape off. Now what you want to do is you want to very carefully remove it. You want to remove the head. And your button's going to fall out, so this little button right here, you can see the empty hole. Just put that aside. Okay, now this is what we end up with. Right here is, you got the laser coming out of here. This is the circuit board. Be very, very careful with this because it will break. And here's the button. Basically, that's what this is pushing down on to make it power. This back here is the pot. I don't know how well you can see that on this shitty camera. There we go. That is the pot. This is what you're going to be modifying for now. What you want to do is take like a little mini screwdriver, and you just want to tighten it. And I tighten mine to the left. The thing about this laser pointer, I don't know if they're all like this, but the thing about this laser pointer was the pot wouldn't tighten, so I couldn't figure out whenever I was getting the most power. Now you're still going to want to do this, take this out if you intend to do a resistor mod or take off the IR filter, which is a very in-depth project that I'm not going to go into. But I'm going to slip this back in, and I don't know if it's like this on most laser pointers, but there's a little black line here to where the button is, so just line that up with the hole. And so here's what I did to remedy that problem and figure out how much power I was getting from the pot. I'm going to slide that back inside, and then to test the pot's power, usually what I would do is you can just put the button right over this hole to turn it on. So also, I forgot to mention, it's probably a good idea to take out your batteries before you do this. So what I did was I found the pot on the board and used the button as reference to where it was, and that's the weird thing about these laser pointers. The pot is on the other side of the circuit board than most pointers. So most people are going to be making holes up here to find their pot. Well, it's back here. And you can see this little crappy hole I made. I was being too hasty, but I'm going to clean that up later. So yeah, you have your pot here. If you look, there's the pot. What you want to do is you want to take your button, and just put it here, hold down the power, and you might have a little trouble with the batteries here. Hold down the power, and while you're holding, turn your pot, and you will be able to see the beam get brighter or, you know, dimmer. And whenever it's at its brightest, that's when you've got it to maximum power. I don't know why these don't tighten. They just keep on turning, but you get the idea. Later, I'm going to do a resistor mod, and I'll show you guys how I did that. But right now, I'm out of time, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys. And yeah, so happy modding.